So in this video, finally get to show you chickens going out on pasture. Kind of our fiasco doing that, gathering chickens. But also, I want to kind of add in here and show. I think I'll step over my fence here. I want to kind of add in here and show seed starts, kind of how I do that. I have an old compost pile that I've been working on for a couple of years. Now, this was where I had a large pile of wood chips here for the last couple of years. But before that, I had made two smaller piles, one here and one there. This was the first year, this pile here. You can see it's breaking down. And this is just good, rich compost. I mean, it just smells like good, clean earth. It is delicious. So since this is the one more broken down, I'm sure over here I got into this small pile. Now these are small piles now. They've been here for years. I haven't really, oops, see if I can zoom out here. Been into here. There's still like stuff. So this stuff still a lot more woody, still breaking down. So what I'm doing is taking this delicious stuff and I put it on my screener, which, because it's for seed starts, I have a really small screen. I bet that's 1/4 inch screen. Okay, I've seen people do this with 1/2 inch. That's probably fine, but because I'm doing seeds, I want it extra fine. So I get it on here and I just work it in with my shovel. I should grab a bucket and even save the bigger stuff, because this is living soil here. So even the stuff that's not making it through the 1/4 inch screen is beautiful stuff to put on my garden. Back with bucket. And I'll just take this and dump it as much as I can into the bucket. But then you can see what I'm left with here is a really beautiful, fine seed soil start. It's so good. I wish you guys could smell that. So good. So I'm gonna do a full wheelbarrow here. Wow. Whew. Let's try that again. So I'm gonna do a full wheelbarrow here, much better, to do a bunch of seed starts. So I'll do some video of this really quick, and then we'll get to starting seeds. It's always nice when you have good helpers. So I'll go dump this on the garden. We'll get our wheelbarrow out of here. I can't say wheelbarrow very well today. And we'll finish up our mix for our seed starts. Okay, so then I take my screen gotta put that back because it's also my chick lid right now. Best tools are the tools that have multi-purpose. Oh boy. I gotta show you this. I took it off the lid of here, but one chicken looks like got out after being in there. Look at, oh yeah, we got a little flyer. Oh, there's two of them. Okay. You're okay. One in and two in. Look at these little guys, ready to go. Hey, back in there. So, I guess it was pretty important I put that back on there, wasn't it? Wow. Now this stuff is super rich. Like, you could use this to fertilize probably other stuff. So I kind of cut it a little bit. So I will add peat moss, minerals, and you could order specific minerals. So like last year I did potassium, phosphorus, I don't remember. I don't know. I'd have to look. I did just like 4 or 5 different minerals, and it worked fine. The plants did really good. This year, I order minerals for my cow, and so I'm thinking maybe I just use those minerals this year, because pasture minerals, I'll show you, get out of my own light maybe. Okay, it's not gonna work. I will take a picture and post right here what pasture minerals have. I'm gonna add a little bit of that. I'm talking like a cup to the entire mix, just to give our roots and our plants the little stuff that they need to grow bigger and stronger. It's kind of like with people, right? When we want our kids to be better, we teach them younger and we give them, I don't know, more love. Really is what we all need to give, more love. But for them to do better, same with our plants. So I was getting my stuff ready here, and I just noticed all these little tiny worms in this. And they're everywhere. They're over the whole thing. Kind of interesting. Little guys. So I might take a sec, grab a handful of those things out, feed them to my chickens. Extra protein. Last year also we did the soil blocks, which were awesome. I would definitely prefer and recommend soil blocking over anything else. But so I'm actually going to use seed trays today. Under this mess, my seed trays to get a bunch of seeds started today. So these are 200 cells per tray. So I'm probably going to take at least 5 of these trays. So, excuse me, stepping over stuff. So I can get a bunch of stuff started, because I'm way behind. Because when you're first starting to farm, starting to homestead, whichever, you're gonna find there's just not enough hours in the day for all the chores and tasks that gotta be done. So because of all the animal stuff, right? I'm learning cattle. We got pigs to prepare for. We get this Thursday, so that'll be a video coming up. Chickens and all the other stuff. My garden, which is at my heart, it's like I want to get everything situated so then I can just kind of relax in my garden. That's going to be a few years probably. So just real quick, grabbing some off the top. I got like, I don't know, bottom of a jar filled. Maybe it's hard to see. Yeah, not a ton, but good little extra meal for the chickens. So I'm gonna go toss these and then we'll get on this mix. Yeah, I don't know what those are, so I don't know if they'll eat them or not. No patootie, over more. Don't you see those things moving? Well, that was anticlimactic. So to our good living soil, literally living, I'll add just about a scoop of the minerals. And then, because peat moss is really dry, I'm gonna fill a 5-gallon bucket and then add water to it, kind of mix it, and get it really wet. And then I add it into this and I mix all that up, and it should kind of like double the size of this and really further using the good quality homemade compost. So I'll fill a 5-gallon bucket, and then I'll put about 2 of these in here. I already put 1. Peat moss is extremely absorbent, so it takes a lot of water. Okay, I can start to see it's pushing up over the edges. Now you don't have to use peat moss. You can probably just use that. Again, that's what I did our first year. We went out to the woods, did the same thing, got beautiful soil. There might be a video of that from a couple years ago. And then I'm just gonna mix this up. So as I was mixing, I punched a small hole in the bottom of my bucket, started leaking all my water. Go figure. Anyways, I almost was there. You want it nice and wet so you can just kind of squeeze out a little bit of water. So you dump it into your bucket, and we'll kind of push this thing down, and you can tell it's raining, so you'll have to excuse me. You can tell this is kind of the consistency of the peat moss you want, where you can give a good squeeze and see some liquid, but it kind of holds its shape. Okay, I'm going to finish mixing this, and then I'm going to move myself into the greenhouse where I'm going to film kind of the rest of the stuff. So I'll spare you guys the work. I'll see you in the greenhouse. So next, make sure we have our seeds. And this is just a small handful that I need to get started. Let's make sure they're all clean and empty. And I'll just load it on here. If you don't like having messy hands, I'd suggest gloves here. Another good option is, if you don't like to have the stuff underneath your fingernails, is to take like, I don't know, your favorite bar of soap. You kind of scratch your nails on that before you work the garden, and then the soap will block, the dirt from getting under there, and you're cleaning out nice clean soap opposed to dirt if you care. I've been so busy with animals this year, kind of forgot how much I enjoy working in the dirt. Back in the day, there used to be quite a stigma between cattle ranchers and what they would call sod busters, people work the soil. And it's incredible that today, somebody like myself gets to merge those together. Okay. So, I just leave a nice tray full. I push my seeds down, so I'm not overly concerned with them being too full. And I'll go and I'm going to pre-fill, I don't know, a full row here full of these trays. Spent probably about 1,000 seeds today. This is a great way to get seeds started quickly, with minimal effort up front, but it does create quite a bit of work later. Basically, I am a month behind on my garden schedule, so my thought is I need to buy a couple of weeks. So these trays, being able to start a lot more seeds faster, kind of helps me just buy a couple of weeks while I've got stuff germinating, starting growing, and then I can finish up receiving pigs, ordering our chickens, getting kind of cow out in the field, all the other animal stuff while these are getting going and started. Also, our frost date is coming up in another week and a half, so that really puts me at the end of May. I'll be getting a ton of the bulk of my garden, especially the spring garden, out, and then I'll have peppers and stuff like that. We'll do soil blocks here in the next week or two to get started and really get us into July, where they're going into the actual garden. So I'll have have to plant out 1,000 seeds, but this just sort of buys me a little bit extra time of like doing all the soil blocking and taking 4 soil blocks at a time, starting 4 blocks at a time. I can start a seed tray of 200 within minutes. And if this was still late February, early March, or in the middle of March, where I had that kind of time, I'd be doing soil blocks because I definitely prefer them. I love starting out with a little 1 inch, then you can go up right to the 2 inch and up to the 4 inch. It's a very nice systematic way to start seeds. I can't wait to have all of my infrastructure sort of set and developed for our animals, because and we're doing it because I've got 11.5 acres that I've got to steward. I've got to manage to take care of. It will overgrow and outdo itself where it's functional and usable by man, myself, who has dominion over it, given by God. And so I have to steward the land with the animals, and that kind of takes its own time and learning curve. But at the same time, our family eats vegetables. This is where we get most of our minerals, vitamins, and nutrition. And so we have to have a garden planted every year. And because I don't know about a lot of you guys, if you're watching this, you're probably also interested in less system, less government in your life telling you what's healthy and not healthy, and more of following the creation, knowing a home garden, vegetables are going to be better for you and taste better than the store-bought ones that have been sprayed with chemicals, picked 2 weeks ago, shipped across the world or the country, and then sat on a shelf for 2 days to a week. By the time you get them, put them in your refrigerator, then you eat it, it has no nutrition, hardly anything left. So for our family, we have to do a large garden every year. So what I'll end up doing with this, because I'm behind, is I save all of our, I'm sure there's others of you out there like me, I'm not the only one. Anytime we bought any kind of plant or whatever, I always save these cups. And then I told a couple people, hey, if you have extra of these cups, let me know, I'll take them. And before I know it, I've got thousands probably around here, literally. So I'll take anywhere from small cups up to these, these are about the same size, a little bit smaller up to these bigger ones, and I'll just fill some compost in these without doing a mix. I'll just screen some topsoil out there, fill this up, and I'll put these little blocks into here. Sometimes I can get 2 or 3 into one of these cups. 2 is better, but it's easier to separate the roots leaves. Again, just kind of speeds up the process for this here. Alright, so when trying to do this, because I am terrible at marking and labeling these things still, and I know it, I just ADHD, right, or ADD, squirrel. Anyways, like I was saying, I try to plant things that I can easily identify amongst each other. So like I'll do cauliflower, which has a much different leaf start than a tomato. I'll put those together. I'll do things like cucumber and broccoli, which they can start in the same tray, and I can easily identify which is which, and then I will attempt to put a, like this is a painted serpent cucumber, or Veronica Romanesco broccoli. Sometimes it's good to know that info, other times, I don't know, right? It's tough. It's better to know it. So if you're good at keeping track of that, and maybe write in the notes here how you do that, and I can like learn from that. Right now, this is sort of what I do. So let's get seeding. So I forgot to show you one step that I like to do. I'll go through, push all the soil down. That way I can plop seeds in, and then just cover them with a little more topsoil, or won't matter. It's still half inch or so deep tops, which is perfect for seeds. So back to what I'm doing. Now we're ready for seeds. So because we wanted to try some different tomatoes, and also because we know from experience that if you grow 5 tomato plants or even 2 tomato plants and you really like those tomatoes, 1 tomato to save for seed would give you like 100 tomatoes for next year. So we bought like 20 seeds of goldy yellow tomato, which is going in here first. I will do 2 per tray, so that's only 1 row. So this is where I talk about I have the hardest time with like, what kind of tomato was that again? So I think what I'm going to try to do this year is, I believe somewhere I have little popsicle sticks, and I will sow these seeds in its row and then do a popsicle stick and simply slide this down on it, hopefully to be able to remember. In the long run, for me, it's like it sort of doesn't matter because we're starting to save our own seeds more. If we like these, I'll save a couple of tomatoes worth of seeds and then label them yellow tomato. The fact that it has gold in front of it, and I forgot that, probably isn't a big deal. It's a tomato that we enjoy eating that happens to be a yellow one. I don't know. To each their own. Also, if you got a better system for this, please let me know. One in there. You're gonna get it. One thing I forgot is, again, from doing soil blocks last year, I would put 2 or 3 seeds in each one. But because these are so tiny, these cells, I can go ahead and just put 1 seed in each one. Because if 1 cell doesn't sprout, it's not really a big deal, because it's that much soil, right? It's not a whole lot. Next is going to be cauliflower, because we can definitely tell what cauliflower looks like from a tomato. Then cauliflower, that's 1 tray, 2 packs. So I'm going to continue doing this. So I finally got all these done, all seeded, and I'm gonna add in here for my own reference, and if you're curious what I planted, a video of each tray and what was in it and on it, and hopefully I can look back if I need to and watch this video and know what was what. So all that's left to do is I gotta go. I'm gonna cover these up. I've got a good half of a wheelbarrow left, that I'm gonna cover up for tonight. It's raining out, so it's moist out. So I'm just gonna cover that, get it out of the rain. Okay, so now I go and I added my topsoil on top, and then I just kind of pat them down so that they're nice and snugged in there. Then any thin spots, I'll go through, and there's extra stuff here in the middle. I just kind of pull out and add to little holes that I see. Or even sometimes I'll just add it on top so it doesn't get completely wasted. That's how you plant 1,400 seeds. But yeah, so that's how we do seeds. That's how I do my seed starts. Try to keep it natural. Again, if I couldn't purchase peat moss, or that happens someday, I'll be okay. We got woods, we use topsoil from that, we just kind of screen it. That started our stuff the first year. And direct sowing in our garden also works. This just kind of helps me get stuff started while I can't tend to my garden right away. But this is how you start 1,400 seeds within a couple hours. And it takes me a couple hours because I'm slow. I just sort of take my time, and I'm not trying to like production pace. I'm not at work here. It's just sort of Sunday afternoon, rainy afternoon, getting seeds started. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you got some value out of it, hit like, maybe even subscribe, follow along. Again, a lot more stuff coming up. I'm trying to get better at videoing like work and how this stuff gets done. When you live this life, it sort of just goes, and it's hard to do both. So forgive me if I miss stuff and I have to like just show you. But anyways, yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. God bless you all. Love you. Bye.